Hello and welcome to the Atterbolden Stadium in Couva. It's match 11 of the Tiger Tanks Men's Under 20 Invitational Tournament. I'm Vidya Ramphal with the commentary. It is Club Sando in the orange and black outfits. They're attacking the goal to our left, and right now they are defending against Defence Force. Defence Force just about to take this free kick, and referee Charlie's Hood is in charge of the game today. She leads a team of 4 female officials. Prudence Fleming is the first assistant, Kerry Myers the second, the top of your picture, and Delisa Bramble is the 4th official. Here's the free kick by Foston, and that's cleared not very far. As Defence Force, that was a promising position for them, and Club Sando, who are very good on the break here, were attempting to break out, but the official has allowed play to continue here. Here's Defence Force looking once again for Foston, and the play has broken down. There's a Club Sando player down at the moment. Gives us time to give you the Club Sando team. Tishon Ragu in goal. Daniel Richards is number 3. Number 4, Jaden Grant. Josiah Cooper is 5. Marvin Waldrop is 6. Prince Pascal 7. Omari Asher 8. Asalindo Medford 9, Jeremy Carter 10, Jaquan Bailey 15, and Jabari Forbes number 18. As for Defence Force, they have Dylan King in goal. The rest of their team: 4 is Kyle Lopez, 5 Tyrell Innes, 8 Randy Antwine, 9 Jerry Morris, 10 Malachi Daniel, 16 Larry Noel, top scorer in the competition, 17 Jaheim Foston, 18 Jaden McCree, 20 is Jelani Peters, and number 21, Tao Lamsey. Right now the teams are taking their break at the moment as they get ready for the return here. I mentioned that Charlie's Hood in charge of proceedings, and there is Delisa Bramble just below her, the 4th official for today. It's an all-female officiating outfit, including the match commissioner Devian Harewood, who you might see close to where Delisa Bramble is standing at the moment. And what a moment here for the female officials. First time we've seen all 4 female officials in this game. That's a nice turn by Defence Force McCree, and the cross ball is headed away by Omari Asher. It's going to be a corner once again for Defence Force, and Defence Force pressing for the opening goal here in this game. Defence Force starting out their campaign with a victory. Actually, they did have a victory over Defence Force in their last game. This is a 3rd round match in the Tiger Tanks Men's Under 20. That little spot of concrete makes it difficult for the kickers, but that ball is floated towards the far post, and that is a chance for Defence Force, and saved by the keeper. Tishon Ragu, in attempting to make the save, may have made contact with his post. I think he's taken a blow to the lower back. That's what he's indicating. But very sportingly decides not to get treatment for it. So that was Tishon Ragu. He used to play as an outfielder at under 14 level, Tishon Ragu, at one time. But a product of the Mascal Football Academy. A young goalkeeper. She was a goal scorer for his team. But there is the free kick once again. And maybe you can see here, I think Ragu, in attempting to make the save, just sort of clipped the post with his hip, which can be very, very painful indeed. Recovers well enough to send the goal kick downfield. And a Club Sando trying to... Good pass by Daniel Richards. But Defence Force have been one of the most organized teams in this competition. They are 2nd in the table. Correction, 3rd in the table on 6 points, and that's behind San Juan Jabloteh. Hawks on 6 points also, 2 wins for each of those teams. Defence Force behind only on goal difference. Police in 4th place, and Club Sando with just 1 point at the moment. They are in 5th place. A victory for them should do a lot here for them. It could lift them as high as 4th place in the table. Remember, this tournament is all about crowning the winner of the Trinidad leg of the tournament. So it's played in and headed over bar. Not far away from the mark that time. And that was another fine bit of striking there. Got in front of the defender, Jaden McCree, and couldn't keep down his header. But last touch here for Club Sando a little bit of a surprise. It looked as though McCree had gotten the header out right there, but it seemed to have come off the defender just behind him. I think it was Omari Asher who got the header in. So here's the corner, and that little bit of concrete is just making it very difficult for the kickers. And this one is played towards the back post again. Defense force threatening here, and the keeper comes and claims well, Tishon Ragu. And just in front of him was the dangerous striker Larry Noel. Noel, the tall and very fast striker. There he is after the defender immediately, trying to press high here and forces the mistake. He has had 3 goals in the competition already. Ball to McCree was not a good one, and Club Sando will take it over. The defender just dallying on the ball. And in these type of matches against teams like Defence Force, when you think you have enough time to take a touch, it's really after only half a touch that you are allowed to make. That one drifts out of play. Defence Force got a 2-1 win over W Connection in their last game. Larry Noel with an outstanding goal in the 32nd minute. Jaheim Foston adding a second just 5 minutes later. They did hold on to win despite a late goal against them. Here's Defence Force looking for the opening goal here. They have been the aggressors and the better of the two teams as we start off. Here is Cooper. Can he get the cross in? He's looking to get past one player, and the second, it comes off the shin of the second man, Jaquan Bailey, and is out for a goal kick. As for Club Sando, they lost 2-1 in their last game to Sanwon Jablote. Daniel Richards, his penalty in the 68th minute gave them some hope of coming back. They did have a few chances late, but Sanwon Jablote were just too strong for them. Actually, that one has come out for a throw-in. Defence Force taken by Innis, and that will now go for a corner here. Curiously, the ball kids involved in the game are actually look like referees. Their outfits very much similar to what we've seen from officials, so that does add to a little bit of the confusion. Tiger Tanks men's on the under 20 tournament, and sponsored of course by the one of the leading firms in the oil and gas industry. This one's headed in at the middle post here. That was well played into the center and headed in here by Jelani Peters, and the defender coming up and heads it in, and there is the opening goal. So 1-0 Defence Force. They are in front here, and Club Sando have been stunned here by the goal from the dead ball situation. There it is once again. That one was driven into the center. He rose well above the defender. Jaden Grant was left flat-footed there for Club Sando, and there is the opening goal. And Jelani Peters, the number 20, does a little boxing, but I think he has in fact delivered the knockout punch there. Club Sando down 1-0. So Defence Force are ahead. 26th minute, Jelani Peters getting the opening goal for them, and what a celebration that was. So just about enough time to take some water this time, and it is an opportunity here for Club Sando and their team management to have a talk over at this here. Club Sando down 1-0 already. Percy Samlal Singh, the manager of the team. He is also manager of the Naparima College team in the Secondary Schools Football League. Percy Samlal Singh, assisted by Michael Maurice, the goalkeeping coach. And those who remember Michael Maurice, the 64-year-old who played with great distinction for Trinidad and Tobago. He is affectionately known as Brow. Here is Club Sando looking to get back to parity here. And against a well-drilled team like Defence Force, it's going to be a real tough task here to play through this Defence Force team. That was hit towards Foston, and now it is Club Sando's ball here. Taking their time about it is Jaquan Bailey, who's not doing too much fast at the moment. Defence Force, he's allowed Defence Force to get back in numbers here. Defence Force, their manager is Stephen Williams, not to be confused with the former Commissioner of Police. Willem Devonish is the assistant coach. Curtin Moe and Lester Young also listed as assistant coaches for Defence Force. Declan Squires is their goalkeeping coach. He hasn't had too much to see from his charge. Dylan King in goal at the moment. Now Defence Force on the attack here. This one's played in. Larry Noel is going to get onto this one. He and McCree have been really putting problems here across to the Club Sando defence, and that was ruled as offside. Charlie's Hood just spotting the signal made by Kerry Myers across on the right, and it's going to be a free kick here for Club Sando. Larry Noel as the number 16 for Defence Force. I mentioned him already. 3 goals in the competition. He and Colin Sargent of St. Clair's Coaching School. 3 goals in the competition already. 3 goals in 2 games. Noel getting a double in the first game and scoring another in their win in the last game against W Connection. Here's Club Sando, and Defence Force look like they are playing with more than the regulation 11 players at the moment. They're just out hustling Club Sando. Those players are struggling to get the ball upfield. It's Defence Force. It's Morris. Morris is tackled and fouled, according to Hood, the official. And that is going to be a free kick here for Defence Force. This game taking place at the Atto Boldon Stadium, which, as you know, named after the 8-time Olympic and World Championship medal winning athlete Atto Boldon. Also the 1997 200-meter world champion. Did the business for TNT in Athens in that fateful day in August 1997. Now in his coaching days, Atto Boldon, and has one of the fine young runners in the world, sprinters, Brianna Williams, as part of his coaching setup. Richards, and gets the pass across to his skipper, who is under pressure already. He's given it up here to Defence Force. A lot of spin on that ball. Just defeated the man attempting to pass it. Now here's Club Sando. That's not a great ball. That's what they would technically call a hospital ball, and he is tackled out of it. Thankfully, no harm coming to Jaden Grant, former W Connection player. Played for Connection at under 14 level. Tackled out of it that time. There's Jaquan Bailey with the throw in. Defence Force pick it up here. Here's Daniel, and the pass inside. That was by Foston. Club Sando regain control through Richards, and they attempted to get that to Richards again. It's broken kindly here for Club Sando, who will have some options here. There are 2 players inside of the box. If Forbes can get it in, but he's closed down quickly by 2 players. Jelani Peters was there, and he just dilly-dallied too long there with before he was able to get the cross off. Now Defence Force bringing it the other way. Here is Daniel for Defence Force. Correction, that's McCree, number 18, just getting the pass. Here is Daniel, the skipper. Brings the man into play, Christian Bailey. Bailey down the line here for Peters. Too far ahead of Peters. And Cooper is judged to have been fouled here at the Atto Boldon Stadium. This tournament sponsored by Tiger Tanks, located at Labidco Industrial Estate, specialized services and proprietary products for the oil and gas industry. He could have needed a little bit more fuel there in his tanks, but he couldn't catch up with it. Appreciates the effort though. Just too far ahead there. Jelani Peters and his fellow defenders have had precious little to do in this one so far. Forward pass, looking for the run of Noel here, and that was a tester for the San Juan, the Club Sando defense. Club Sando, which was founded back in 1990, campaigned for a long time in the National Super League before they won the title under Anthony Street, the former national player. Won the title in 2014-2015 season, and have been in the TNT Pro League since then. Here's Club Sando looking for the equalizer here. This is a meandering run here by Forbes. Eventually has to come back. That's not a great forward ball. It was just hit one time and easy for the defense force defense. Well, that was ruled to be a legal tackle. The studs were showing. Referee Charlie's Hood allows that to continue. But, no damage to either player, but the studs definitely showing in that tackle by the defense force player. Defense force, one of the outstanding teams in the country, and that I think was the result of the tackle. Daniel Richards, who is bound for the under-20 team, he along with Marvin Waldrop, Kylan Braffett and Quincy Winchester have been called up by the Club Sando, by the former Club Sando coach Angus Eve, for the national under-20 training. So there's going to be a hold up here with just under 12.5 minutes to go. Tiger Tanks men's under-20. Dennis Latif, the managing director of Tiger Tanks, says that the competition will bring a lot of exposure to the talent in Trinidad and Tobago, and it certainly has. We've had some great football matches, and we have had a lot of injuries also, and that is to be expected after the break for COVID-19. A lot of these players have not had any football for the last 2 years, and this is only the third round of the competition. And for both teams, Club Sando and Defence Force, the prize at the end of this, if they can win the Trinidad leg, they will play in home and away, a battle against the winners of the Tobago leg on the 18th and the 25th of June. So after 12 weeks of competition, 65 matches, it boils down to the last two. First match will take place at the Dwight York Stadium on the 18th, and the second match on the 25th at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad. Defence Force, the Tetron Boys as they're called, the most outstanding club team in Trinidad and Tobago history. 20 national titles, 15 in the National League, 5 made up between semi-pro and 3 Pro League titles. Defence Force FC, founded back in 1974, and 2 of their players find themselves beyond the defence here for Club Sando, and legally so. Here's Morris with the pass in, looking for the run of Jaheim Foston, but that's taken away from him. Mentioned Jaheim Foston playing in the left side of midfield for Defence Force. His father, the famous, marvellous Marvin Foston, would have played on the left side of defence for so many wonderful teams in his club career. All the way back to Dylan King, the goalkeeper for Defence Force. I don't think it's had anything to do in this match yet. Here's Tyrell Innes. That is well handled by Daniel. Turns away from trouble. That's coolly done there by the young midfielder. Mentioned Daniel will be heading out to those under-20 training. It resumes on the 3rd of May. TNT FA leaving no stone unturned, trying to get players. There's been screening sessions all over Trinidad and in Tobago. Also screening sessions for foreign-based nationals in Washington, D.C. and Fort Lauderdale. 78 players were seen during that period, I understand. And a few of them have made the trip to Trinidad for training on the 3rd of May. Defence Force not hurried into the clearance here. Looking for Foston, left side of midfield. And Club Sando defenders just complaining that Foston had his studs exposed there in that challenge. But Charlie's Hood allows play to continue here. It's going to be Defence Force ball. Tyrell Innes pushing further and further up here for Defence Force. With the work of Jaheim Foston just ahead of him, they have been able to push back this Club Sando right side. So I'm sure if you look at the approximate positions of all the players during the average positions during this match, their right-sided midfielder and their right back have been pegged back into their own half. Here's Defence Force. Under 8 minutes to go in the first half. That one's played in and towards McCree, and it's cleared away at the last moment. Lamsey was also involved in the move. Lamsey, and also in there was Noel, but didn't get to either of them. And the chance has gone a-begging here for Defence Force. Interestingly, Defence Force, despite their overwhelming quality in this tournament, have not scored more than 2 goals in any of the games they've played so far. 2 goals in their first 2 and 1 in this one so far. Half their quota, you think? Well, can they get more? Here's Defence Force on the attack. This one's played in, and that's possibly one of the reasons why. A poor cross from the right side. Didn't hit it well at all, and maybe would have been hoping for a driven cross towards the near post. It was Noel that was heading in that direction. Defence Force, they've also had Jaheim Foston called up for the national under-20 team. And he and the 4 players called up from Club Sando, they will be heading to that Trinidad and Tobago team, looking to get their chance to play at the CONCACAF Under-20 Championships in Honduras, 18th of June till the 3rd of July. This is policed here by Marvin Waldrop, another one of the call-ups for the Under-20 team. That's taken down well in the midfield by Daniel. Those 2 will be teammates for TNT if they manage to make it through the final training session. So 5 minutes to go here to halftime. Of course, there will be Champions League action coming up, and I'm sure these youngsters will be looking very closely at that. Liverpool versus Villarreal, and of course Manchester City and Real Madrid involved in a big tussle there. That's going to be fine stuff to look at. So next week's matches are going to be also very interesting. Next week in Trinidad, Pity Valley Diego Martin United are up against San Juan Chablete. Hawks will take on Club Sando. Police FC will play Defence Force. That is the match of the week next week. The 2 protective services coming up against each other. As always, promises to be a very interesting match. Central FC against W Connection, and AC Port of Spain will play Caledonia AIA next week. Well, Charlie's Hood has called up play here and has given the free kick to Club Sando. Defence Force with under 5 minutes to go to half-time. We'll have to do some defending here. Club Sando look to unpick their defense, which they have not been able to do so far from a dead ball situation. Marvin Waldrop, their inspirational captain, is there. And 4 players camping out on the far side. It's chipped in towards one of them. Here's the ball just dropping in front of the defense. That's still alive here for Club Sando. And Foston gets it clear. And he also finds his teammate Jeremy Morris, who should be exploding to space here. He just didn't seem to know what to do, Jeremy Morris, and punches the ball away. That should be a yellow card. That is a rather silly way to get a yellow card, Jeremy Morris. First of all, he should have been running out like a thoroughbred when he got the break there, and then petulantly punching the ball, and an unnecessary yellow card. The kind of things that would have coaches pulling their hair out. Why would you do that? So can Club Sando come back to parity here in the first half? Can they get the equalizer, or will Defence Force snatch one late here? Daniel trying to run this clear, reads the spin of the ball very well and takes it away from his opposite number, Marvin Waldrop. Here's Daniel, still with the ball here. That's a nice incisive pass. Can he get the shot off? Can't keep it in play. Larry Noel fleet-footed forward for Defence Force just over-pushed that one and harmlessly going over the line. Some interesting matches on today outside of this match at Club Sando Defence Force at the Atto Bolden Stadium. Later on, W Connection will play against Police. Also at the Larry Gomes Stadium right now, it's Caledonia versus Piti Valley Diego Martin. Caledonia searching for their first win of the competition. San Juan Jablotay and Hawks involved in a big clash later on. And Central FC, they will face AC Port of Spain at the Manny Ramjohn Stadium training field. Another close one expected there. Here's Defence Force getting it clear with Daniel, but not very far here. Club Sando have a chance. Here's Richards. He's tackled out of it. Was that a foul? Should that have been a free kick outside of the area? He's gone down here heavily, Richards, and he's still limping away from the tackle. He doesn't seem quite himself right now. Yes, he has been injured in the play. Remember, he was involved in another play that he was injured in when a Defence Force player looked very lucky to stay on the field. So here's Club Sando looking for the equalizer with Pascal. Hooked in here by Bailey. Nice turn by Carter. Tried to chip it forward to the run of Prince Pascal. But that is ruled and adjudged as offside. 1 minute of time remaining in the first half here. And Defence Force ahead by Jelani Peters' excellent header inside of the 6-yard box. That's turned out to be a good ball to McCree, who was not on the same wavelength. Communication just breaking down between the Defence Force players. Club Sando have seen more of the ball in the latter part of the second half, but they haven't been able to fashion any chances yet. They might do so now. Here is Forbes for Club Sando. Return pass by Pascal was not great. Club Sando pressing for the equalizer here late in the first half. In by Medford, and that is headed away for the moment by Defence Force, and they will hack it clear. Now here's an opportunity for Defence Force to hit them on the break. If Forbes can get to it, he does keep it in play but makes it easy for the Club Sando defenders. Now into time added on for stoppages at the end of the first half. Club Sando still looking for the equalizer here. It's been just almost 20 minutes since Jelani Peters put Defence Force ahead. And after that, Defence Force just seemed to take their foot off the accelerator. That could be one of the reasons why they only have one goal, 2 goals in fact, in each match so far. So free kick for Defence Force. They'll take their time with this, I'm sure. And Christian Bailey on the far side has been one of their outstanding defenders. Came off early in the last game with what seemed to be a slight knock, but he's been a critical part of why Defence Force have been able to keep down the scoring against them to only 1 goal per game. This one's knocked in towards the far post. That's nicely taken by Tishon Ragu. And I'm sure that Michael Maurice, the goalkeeping coach for Club Sando, would have appreciated that. Mike Maurice, an outstanding player in his time for Trinidad and Tobago. 36 internationals for Mike Maurice. 2 players down injured here. One for Defence Force. Jelani Peters, I think, who went up for that. Plus Tishon Ragu, the goalkeeper, getting some treatment here. The physio, Suan David Lamy for Club Sando. Roger Ryan also serves as physio. They're both out there right now. And Defence Force haven't sent their physio out at the moment. I don't see anyone listed as physio for Defence Force, but Jelani Peters seems to be okay, getting his name on the score sheet for the first time in the competition. And they're asking for some water here. I think that's what Peters wants, as well as the 2 with him, the 2 forwards for Defence Force, Noel and McCree. So 2.5 minutes of time added on for stoppages, and there comes the water bouncing on. Just that well there. Larry Noel has a fine sense of balance. If you did see the finish that he would have produced against W Connection, it was a really good finish. The ball, long ball played in towards him, and the ball was running away from him, and he just slid in with the left foot and guided it into the far corner from the inside left position. It was a really fine finish by Larry Noel. Raghu seems to be okay. He's heading back inside his area. And Jelani Peters is also okay. He'll have to get rid of the water bottle though. Charlie's Hood is very keen to tell him that's what you need to do. Get rid of the water because we can't continue without it. Light traffic, as you can see in the background, on the Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway, which links north and south here in Trinidad. And the training field just above here at the Atto Bolden Stadium, and just behind that bamboo area there's the National Cricket Centre here in Balmain, Couva, where the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board under Trinidad Cricket Board T20 competition is going to start later next week on Thursday, to be exact. Here's Club Sando. They've had 4 minutes of time added on for stoppages now. And could there be enough time here for Jaden Grant? Well, there's not going to be enough time for Jaden Grant to get his shot off. And that is the end of the first half. Club Sando trailed Defence Force by a goal to nil. Jelani Peters getting the goal in the 26th minute. And Defence Force lead, looking good for a third consecutive win here in this match at the Atto Bolden Stadium. Join us in a short while because we'll be continuing with commentary here at between these two teams, Club Sando and Defence Force at the Atto Bolden Stadium.
And we are here with one of the players of St. Clair's Coaching School, Justin Myrie. I hope I got that correct this time, did I?
Yeah,
all right, good afternoon to you, Justin.
Good day to you too.
Right, so Justin, how long have you been a player on a whole? How long have you been playing football?
Well, you can say since I was about, you can say 11, 12.
Since you're about 11 or 12, so you have some good experience. So how long have you been playing with coaching school?
Well, when I started playing in coaching school, I started
playing. So this is home. This is home so far. All right, nice. So tell us a little bit about how it feels to actually be back. Out playing, because we know the COVID would have hit. We know persons who basically locked down, even though you're getting a little sweat here and there. How does it feel to be back in an official competition?
No, well, it feels good because, as you know, the pandemic's real slow down football and sports. So it feels good, even though I'll say most teams kind of underprepared because of the short notice. But it feels good to at least get back a little football around and things. All
right, good. So I heard you talk about the being underprepared. So, and did you do anything personally to keep yourself fit? Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about that journey. What was it like?
No, well, it's hard because, you know, like training used to be most people like for my exercise. So, but you have to keep doing your own thing.
Right. So you did a lot of training on your own. All right. Good. So, what is your position on the team?
I'm a goalkeeper.
You're the goalkeeper. Yeah. All right. So what are your expectations for this tournament?
Well, I hope to get as much clean sheets as I could, and I hope that hopefully we could win the tournament and get to go down.
You're looking to go out there and mash up the place. All right. I like that. Yeah. All right, Justin. Thank you for speaking with us, and I will wish you all the best in your tournament. I hope you get your clean sheets.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thank you. So pleasant good afternoon to you, Mr. Austin Tom, the head coach here at St. Clair's Coaching School. The boys under 20, as far as I know, the boys under 20, they are looking to head into a tournament in the Tiger Tanks competition. So just tell us a little bit about how you got started here at St. Clair's Coaching School.
Pleasant afternoon, Ms. Lincoln. First of all, let me say thanks for the interview. St. Clair's Coaching School, well, this organization, as we all know, has some history behind it. Was founded by the one Mr. Bertil St. Clair in 1972. That's eons ago. For me personally, I have been around the organization since the mid-80s. we start taking pupils, students here from the age of 5, boys, girls. We have several levels of, different age group teams. Go all the way up to a senior men's team.
Okay.
In the past, we had a female women's team, but that's non-existent anymore. As it relates to the Tiger Tank Under 20 tournament, which is supposed to start this coming weekend, several of the players on the team came through the youth system.
Right.
And also are members of the senior team.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, so definitely usually when you see a coach, it's because they have some sort of history, either playing football or maybe just growing up around it. What is your history behind the football? Why come into coaching? Why coach this team?
History? I don't have any history about football. Anyway, that's a joke. But on a serious note, as I said, I started as a younger player, moved through the ranks through the St. Clair's coaching school, eventually Signal Hill, and eventually went to the US on a football scholarship.
Nice.
Did my tour, came back here in 2007. I never left the organization. I was always part of the organization. Every year I come back, I'd fall right back in. So eventually, until I moved back to Tobago permanently, fell right back into the organization. While in the US, before I left to go to the US, I started coaching at the youth level.
Right.
While I was there, I did a lot of youth coaching, even coached at college level, assistant coach, club coaching. So coming back to Tobago, it was kind of like a natural progression. I saw it as a means of giving back, or not just giving back, but still being a part of football. And personally, I think I have a lot to offer.
Yes.
Where the youths are concerned. So hence the reason I'm still heavily
You're still
involved.
here. You're still here. So definitely you can tell that you come along with the St. Clair's coaching school history. That's definite, right? We could definitely say that. I see that. All right. So I mean, the COVID would have hit us. There would have been no football for quite some time. This is the first tournament coming out of COVID.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And how do you feel heading into this tournament? Do you feel that you guys are ready? Is it pathway? Tell me.
To be honest, to say we are ready, that wouldn't do justice, in the sense that we know how the COVID situation was.
Definitely.
The entire country was shut down. Some areas, as in some guys, were taking their little chances and playing here, there, everywhere, although it was against regulations or the restrictions. But other guys would have been doing their thing on their own. Currently, we have several guys vying to make a spot on national under 20 team. So I know for a fact several of those guys were doing their stuff on their own.
Right.
To say we are ready, I mean, it's a work in progress.
It's hard to say already.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And what are your expectations? Well, we see that, of course, the COVID has you a bit, you're not fully there. You would not have been able to train to the level that you thought you may have been. And then coming into this tournament, what are your expectations for the tournament? What are you using this tournament to do?
First of all, the tournament, we are going to compete, obvious. For me, it's not all about winning, right? Giving the guys opportunity to play. Get back to some semblance of where they were. I had a discussion with a friend recently, and the discussion was based around guys being inactive. And I told him plainly that only the guys that are serious would continue in the sport.
Right.
Because in every sport, there are a lot of people a lot of kids, a lot of children, a lot of youths that drop out because of the COVID and being inactive. That was the situation in terms of the COVID. I mean, we have to move on from it. Now that the country is going to be opened up to a great extent, the guys that are serious and see a future in football or see football as a stepping stone, gonna make the best of the opportunity.
Okay, nice. And one more question. I know that, there were certain restrictions and of course that would have affected who would have been playing on the team. Has that improved now that those restrictions are possibly done and over with?
Well, to be honest, right, some of the guys were enthused about coming back out to play, right? They couldn't wait for the restrictions to be lifted, or, well, some of them, when they heard of the Safe Zone initiative, they were all happy and eager to come out to play, right? The numbers was a bit challenging in terms of the vaccinated and the unvaccinated and such. But as I said before, some of the guys were really enthused about coming back, returning to play.
All right, nice. So, Mr. Austin Thorne, we want to wish Sinclair's coaching school all the best in the tournament to come. I hope you all go out there, have lots of fun, and I hope it's an educational and a developmental process for you guys. So thank you for speaking with us, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks so much, and thanks for the opportunity. I'm sure with the upcoming tournament, the guys are going to fully embrace it and make the best of the opportunity again. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Welcome back to the Atterbolden Stadium for the second half of this Tiger Tanks Men's Under-20 Invitational match between Club Sando and Defence Force. Defence Force in the blue and yellow outfits. They have taken the lead. 26-minute Jelani Peters heading in from a corner, and they have the all-important lead in this one. And there is going to be a change I see here in the second half. Israel Joseph is going to come on in the second half. We'll tell you in a moment where he's going to go. It looks like he's going to slot into the midfield here. And Israel Joseph does in fact do so. And he's directed to go into attack here. So Defence Force going with that full court press as they love to do in the early part of the half. That was a horribly miscontrolled one there by Innes, number 5 for Defence Force. And Club Sando take it up early here. It's been a stuttering performance from Club Sando. They looked a lot better in the first half, latter part, but they weren't able to fashion a shot on goal. Dylan King had precious little to do. Terence Tishon Ragu on the other side has had a lot to do, as we watch the clearance there by Christian Bailey. So a scrappy start for the Defence Force. Club Sando teammates just warming up alongside. They do have on the bench Kylan Braffett, another one of those who's been called up for the National Under-20 training sessions. Not well controlled there by Richards and knocked forward. Here's Defence Force. That's a good-looking ball. Almost got in there towards Noel, who was coming in at the back post, but it's cleared downfield here by Club Sando. Club Sando around for over 30 years now. They formed in 1990, but they didn't have a competitive side together until 1991. They have produced some outstanding players. Tiba McKnight comes to mind, Anthony Paris, Kern Cupid, Camille Rivers and Jesse Downing are some of their outstanding players. They've also had some fine coaches outside of Anthony Street who took them to that Super League title. They've also had Jan Stedman and Mohamed Issa as their coaches. Corner for Club Sando here. Chance for them to get something back from a dead ball situation. And in this stadium in particular, that rough spot is making it a little bit difficult for the kickers here. And that's because of the heavy rain. The rain also did have an impact on another match played here a few years ago. USA versus Trinidad and Tobago. We'll tell you more about that after this corner. Here's the corner taken by Club Sando, and it's poorly hit. That's one of the reasons why that little patch of dirt has been having an effect on the quality of the kicking from the corners here. This is the new man Joseph here driving forward for Defence Force. He had Bailey to his, just looking at Bailey to his right here, but didn't decide to use him. Here is Lamsey. Can he get the cross in? He opts to go all the way back here. This is knocked in by Innes, and 2 straight at the goalkeeper. Yeah, those patches created by the heavy rains that we've had during the week here last week in Trinidad. It does flood here at the Atterbolden Stadium. In fact, the athletic track was flooded during that that infamous, if you're a United States fan, that infamous match here back in October 2017. TNT would have beaten the USA 2-1 and ensured that the USA would miss their first World Cup since 1986. All the complaints were about the USA, saying that well, the water was a problem. Now here's Defence Force on the attack here. McCree was away to goal, but has been adjudged to have fouled the Club Sando player, who is on the ground in pain right now. Is that Omari Asher at the back? Looks like it is Omari Asher, who's been injured in the play. Well, it could be Prince Pascal, actually. '50th minute here, and an injury for one of the Club Sando players. And the medics are on to with the stretcher. The referee, Charlize Hood, the head of this all-female outfit here today, ordering that the player be removed from the pitch to get treatment. Despite Defence Force's superiority, they have not been able to find more than a goal in this game. It was Asher who was down there, just a bump to his head perhaps. Seems to be okay. Marvin Waldrop just asked him how he's feeling. Let's see if he will continue here, Asher, as he's heading off the park. So they're temporarily down to 10 men here, Club Sando, as Defence Force look for a second goal to add to the 26-minute strike by Jelani Peters. Tishon Ragu telling his team, go upfield. Substitution about to be made here. And I think they have decided to remove Omari Asher from the field. That knock to the head did not look good at all. Hit too far forward. Now here's the snapshot straight at the goalkeeper, and King finally has a shot to save. And he would have said it was the easiest one to deal with. That one came straight at him, and he took it easily. Here's Defence Force on the attack now. Looking for the run of Noel, headed away from the big centre forward for Defence Force. 2 Club Sando players getting in each other's way. Daniel for Defence Force. Lamsey was there in the middle of the park. Now they give it away to Club Sando, and Pascal. Here's Grant here for Club Sando. Medford. Now they're starting to tread some passes here together. Obviously the talking to at the halftime period has worked for them, and they force a corner here off the foot of Jelani Peters, the man whose goal separates the two teams. Prudence Fleming, the second assistant referee on the far side. Seen her in a few games already in this series, the Tiger Tank Men's Under 20 series, which has done a lot of good in terms of preparing Trinidad and Tobago's Under 20 players for the upcoming CONCACAF Under 20 Championships. Here it's taken by Waldrop, and over the head of Cooper. Defence Force thought for a moment they had a break on. Well, a shot from distance has opened up possibilities for Josiah Cooper. It only results in a throw-in for Club Sando. Another cross coming in. It's eluded 2 players from Club Sando, but not Pascal, who turns well and shoots. Oh, that's not well handled, and they put it into the back of the net. Club Sando have scored here. And celebration as the man running away celebrates. Josiah Cooper scored here. Not Pascal, who turns well and shoots. Oh, that's not well handled, and they put it into the back of the net. Cooper knocks it in. And Club Sando have equalized. So the equalizer there for Club Sando, and they've now made 3 changes. And immediately as that goal has gone in, we're now seeing Kylan Braffett, the under-20 player. He is on. Kern Cedeno is also on, so they're going to pile on some pressure here. Club Sando, as they try to get back into this game, ahead in this game for the first time. So Defence Force have been rocked here by that equalizer. Can they now find a way to get back? They haven't trailed in this competition yet. They've not been behind at any point in this competition. And they have not had any of the teams equalize against them either. So this is a new situation for the Defence Force team. And Stephen Williams will certainly learn a lot about his team here. Do they have the mental aptitude to come back and get back into this game? So here's Defence Force now looking to find an attack to get themselves back. They've given it away to Club Sando in the midfield. And the mistake really made by the keeper Dylan King. It didn't seem to be such a difficult shot that he shouldn't have been able to hold on to it. Now this one's played in here. '56th minute, 1-1 in this one. Club Sando and Defence Force FC. And this is shaping up to be a really good one here. The mettle of Defence Force will be tested, as we pointed out already. Bailey trying to get this one into the area. He does, but only as far as the man on the far side, who's gone down. And here it's a penalty for Defence Force. And Jaheim Foston has gone down on the far side. He's been knocked over here. I think it's Asher is the one who puts in the challenge. But here is Foston, as far as not Asher actually, but Bailey who puts in the challenge. Asher is the one who's complaining about it. But Jaheim Foston down, writhing in pain. And it's a penalty for Defence Force. So Defence Force have a chance to go back up 2-1 here. And Foston, who had a great start to the game and was a big part of the opening goal for Jelani Peters. Now he has won the penalty here for his team. And there's a little bit of temper. The tempers are being lost here for the Club Sando team. One or two of the players, including Asher, they're having a few words with Jaheim Foston, including the goalkeeper, Tishon Ragu. They're perhaps suggesting that he made a little bit too much out of that chance. Either way, it is going to be a penalty. Charlie's Hood has awarded the penalty already, and Defence Force will take this one. Jaheim Foston still lying prone here on the ground at the Ato Bolden Stadium. Tishon Ragu, instead of being part of the complaint, should really be getting his mind together to face up to this penalty. The meantime, Defence Force, who's going to take this penalty for them? Would have thought that Foston would be one of the candidates for it. Foston already has a goal in the competition. 37-minute he scored against W Connection last week. Larry Noel has 3 goals already in the competition, and he might be a candidate to take this one. Foston now appears to be okay, so he's going to have to head off the field here. One or two of the Club Sando players had a long look at Foston and his recovery here, but a penalty is going to be taken. And it's not going to be Foston because he's still off the field. Is Noel going to be the one? He's had 3 goals already, Larry Noel, and I think he would want to take this penalty. Well, Foston has now been allowed to come back on. So is he going to take it? Yeah, it is Foston who's going to take the penalty. And Tishon Ragu, as he likes to do, just having a few words with Foston. He's trying to psych out his opponent here. And Foston about to take the penalty. Ragu has had a few words with Foston. Let's see if it will have the impact. Quiet prayer for Tishon Ragu as he's ready to face up to the penalty from Foston. Foston with a very straightish run up here. Players being ordered back by Charlie's Hood. They're being told stay back and outside of the D. Here is Foston with the penalty. Ragu has stepped away again. He's really trying his best here to put off Jaheim Foston. Here's Ragu. Here's Foston with the penalty, and he's put it into the back of the net. 2-1 Defence Force, minute 60, and Defence Force are back in front by 2-1. As easy as you like, Ragu goes one way, the ball goes through the center, and he has answered him with a goal down the center. Just waited for the keeper to commit to the right, and he slid it in past his legs. So Defence Force in front, 2-1 here, and it is Foston getting the goal in minute 60. They're back in front, 2-1. So Defence Force back up in front, and they keep alive their chances of going back up to the top spot in the table. After the first week, they were in second spot after winning their game comfortably 2-1. Second week, the goal that they would have given up late also worked against them. 6 points, but they were in third place. That's where they are now. And depending on what happens in that San Juan Jabloteh Trendsetter Hawks match, both of those teams are top Defence Force on goal difference. Depending on what happens there, it could be Defence Force going to the top of the table on 9 points. So just under 30 minutes to go, 29 and counting here for the Club Sando team. That's a nice move by Dylan King. Put the Club Sando forward on his backside there. Kern Sedeno on for Club Sando. Had a very good game in his last match. In that 2-1 loss to San Juan Jabloteh, he really kept the fight going for Club Sando. Had to be substituted eventually with an injury. Here's Club Sando looking for the equalizer here from a dead ball situation. Here's Sedeno. Turns away from one. And Daniel just tried to do too much there. And it's taken away. Deflected, attempted across here. Now Defence Force will pick it up. And the combination of Foston and Innes have won back a corner here. Goal kick, excuse me, for the Defence Force team. Here's a Defence Force moving out through Daniel. This might be promising here for Noel. Just got a little shove in the back from Medford and just misbalanced him and not almost fell down. But there is this is going to be Yeah, that is the yellow card for Josiah Cooper. And Cooper was one of those players who was having some words with Foston as he lay on the ground. He and Omari Asher, referee losing patience with Cooper. And a great frustration for the Club Sando team. Almost as soon as they were able to get the equalizer in this game, they conceded the go-ahead goal to Defence Force. Defence Force have been ordered to retake the free kick. The referee was still setting up, just making sure on getting the wall set up here. She might hand out another yellow card. Minute 64 and Defence Force lead 2-1. So is he going to try this one from distance here? Josiah Cooper in the wall. Tyrell Innes is going to try his luck from distance here. Left-sided defender for Defence Force. Innes with the free kick. And straight at the goal. Tishon Ragu got everything behind that and made the save. Cedeno is picking it up here for Club Sando. Slipping past one is Carter. And here is the ball played in and knocked away from danger for the moment. Club Sando still have it on the far side here at the Atterbolden Stadium. Here's Medford. His chip forward is cleared by the Defence Force defenders. Several of these players, as we mentioned, going to the Trinidad and Tobago team for practice sessions for the under-20 in their bid to qualify for the under-20 World Cup. TNT will play against Mexico, Suriname and Haiti in matches in Honduras, in San Pedro Sula to be exact. Top 4 at that competition will qualify for the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, and also the top 2 will go to the 2024 Olympics. TNT never qualified for the Olympics, so they'll have to get into the final to do so. For the first time, CONCACAF using the under-20 qualifiers as their qualifier for the Olympics. Bailey has to go all the way back, and we'll get the return ball here. Christian Bailey right back for Defence Force. Defence Force just trying to play themselves out here. They've given it up to Club Sando. And Daniel Richards, the big centre forward for Club Sando, has won a throw-in for his team. Corner, in fact, for his team, as was knocked behind. That is not inside the semicircle. I think he's going to get away with it here. Acelino Medford. Medford knocks it in at the near post. And now Defence Force on the break here. Foston leads the break in for Defence Force. Not a great ball from Foston. And he and Bailey were trying to spring forward in numbers there for Defence Force. You have the spare man over on the far side. Club Sando, 5 in the center, 1 unmarked at the far post. Can they find him? They can't. For once they were able to achieve the overload on the far side, but Club Sando unable to get the pass in. Bailey. Forward from Bailey. Defence Force is at the feet of Malachi Daniel. That's a nice little pass there to Lamsey. Lamsey does not handle it well. It's back with Club Sando and Pascal. Carter. Well, just hit the back of his own player there, and it has gone all awry here for Club Sando, but they managed to get back possession, and they have the chance. Daniel Richards was about to put his laces through that one, and the referee has signaled that that is going to be a corner here. So corner for Club Sando. The defender just doing enough to get it away from him at the end. Waltrip will take the corner for Club Sando. At the back post, headed back into the center. It's dropped by the keeper. And Foston gets it clear. It didn't seem to be the most difficult of chances. And once again, they've exposed a little bit of a weakness, perhaps, in Dylan King's game. Those crossfield balls headed across his goal seem to be giving him a world of trouble, especially to his left side. He's very good with his feet, Dylan King, but has not handled the two situations with the ball going across his left side. Might be a balance issue. I'm sure that Declan Squires, his goalkeeping coach, will have a look at that and do some work on it. Might actually be left-footed. Here's Defence Force on the attack now with Foston. Goes one way and then the next and gets the shot off, and that's brilliantly saved, and the follow-up is not turned in. Difficult chance for Lamsey to turn in, and Defence Force continue to lead 2-1, but that should have been the third goal. It's Bailey for Defence Force. Outside of him is Cooper. Back to Bailey. And Cooper again. Bailey looking for the return ball, and well, I thought Bailey felt that he was in an offside position. He wasn't. There was the chance, and brilliantly saved by Ragu. So 20 minutes to go here. Defence Force back in front 2-1. It's a tenuous hold on the 3 points they have at the moment at the Atto Bolden Stadium. W Connection to take on Police later on today at Larry Gomes Stadium right now. Caledonia AIA are taking on PT Valley Diego Martin. Later on there, Central FC will take on AC Port of Spain. Actually, San Juan Jablonete and Hawks in that second game at the Larry Gomes Stadium. And later on, Marvin, which will take place at the Manny Ramjon Stadium, Central FC will face AC Port of Spain. Across in Tobago, St. Clair's Coaching School leading Bethel 2-0. Youth Stars and Stokely Vale will clash later on. So exciting football action here in the Tiger Tanks men's under 20 football tournament. And Defence Force get the opportunity for Israel Joseph, who found himself free. It appeared that he may have been trying a shot, hit it with the outside of the right foot, tried to curve it in at the far post. A better option would have been to get it into the center where there were a few players looking out for passes. Well, the whistle has gone here from Charlie's Hood. The players are going to get some drinks. We will do the same. Back in about 2 minutes with more action here at the Atto Bolden Stadium. Defence Force lead Club Sando 2-1. Here at the Atto Bolden Stadium in Couva, it's Defence Force leading Club Sando 2-1 with just under 17 minutes to go in this encounter in the Tiger Tanks Men's Under-20 Invitational Tournament. And Defence Force looking good here for a third consecutive win, and a third consecutive 2-1 win it would be in the competition for them. And those goals that they've given up in their 3 games so far, that's the reason why they're not leading the table. They're down in 3rd place on goal difference. Here's Club Sando trying to raise themselves. They're in 5th place at the moment on only 1 point. Defeat for them will see them plummet down the table. Defence Force of their top scorer, Larry Noel, yet to score in this game. He's had 3 in the first 2 games. Club Sando coached up to last year by Angus Eve. Eve was called up for national service at the senior and under-20 level. Of course, Club Sando, one of the smaller clubs in the country, certainly not as big as the giants like Defence Force or the type of resources, but they have been outstanding in their efforts to keep football going in South Trinidad. And given the lack of resources for the Club Sando team, they certainly have been punching above their weight level for many years now in the Pro League. Under the fine work by Angus Eve, one of the reasons why he was selected as national coach. Here is McCree getting free on the right side. Chance here for Noel, and knocked over the bar. For once, Noel's first touch deserted him. And congratulations being offered there by Ragu to the defenders in front of him. But it was just behind Larry Noel, who couldn't turn his body quickly enough to get the shot off. And you would have backed him to getting the goal there. Big connection between Angus Eve and Club Sando, TNT senior and under-20 coach. He was also part of that TNT team that played and went to 2nd place in the 1990 CONCACAF Under-20. The final round was a round robin. There was no final involved in that tournament, so there was no playoff with Mexico, the champions that year. Defence Force have the corner. 76 minutes here. Can they find a 3rd goal? It's knocked towards the near post, and the last touch by Defence Force, and that has gone out for a goal kick. Well, in fact, as we thought it was a goal kick, now it's been given as a corner here for Defence Force. Defence Force with a 2nd corner towards the far post, and Ragu claims that well. There were 2 players coming in for Defence Force. And that is a big, big punt downfield. Keeper to keeper there, and Dylan King, easiest of tasks to pick that one up. Here go Defence Force, and Daniel mentioned he has also been called up to the under-20. Similar role to what Angus Eve would have played for the national team. What a fine bit of play that was, dribbling past 2 defenders. Eve and the Trinidad and Tobago team would have played in that Under-20 World Cup in Portugal. Eve and the likes of Dwight York, who is a skipper, Michael McCormy, who is no longer with us, Jaron Nixon, Clayton Ince, and Anthony Sherwood, some of the outstanding players to come out of that team. And what a World Cup that was. Played in here, this opportunity for Club Sando, robbed of it at the last moment, and it was Kylan Braffett who just could not get this shot off in time. Here's Foston, subtle pass in the middle for Noel, who gets the shot off, and that's wide off the mark. But that Under-20 World Cup back in 1991, outstanding players to come out of it, just to mention 4 of them, so you'll understand the scale of how far back that was. Mauricio Pochettino, who's now coaching PSG, played for Argentina in that tournament. Luis Figo, long retired for Portugal. Roberto Carlos, World Cup winner with Brazil back in 2002. and the fabulous Manchester United striker Andy Cole also played in that 1991 tournament. The only recognizable name out of that England squad. Injury, and it is Foston who's down again. So Defence Force about to make a change here. Trevin Thomas is about to come on, number 23. Let's see where he's going to go, and once again Jaheim Foston is going to head off. His father Marvin Foston, one of the outstanding left-sided defenders in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Also in one of those matches, I think it was in a Defence Force Police match, he scored one of the most memorable goals in local football, a bicycle kick that sent football fans in Trinidad into raptures. I'm sure he remembers that, and certainly Marvelous Marvin, we remember that very well. Last 11 minutes of the game here. Here's Club Sando now. Spaces here for them to possibly exploit the center of defense. Here is Cedeno. Actually, this is one of the new players on here for Club Sando. Liam Dial is the player coming on. I don't think we've seen Dial yet for the competition. And he closes down the Defence Force man well. Dial on the left side here for Club Sando. Throw-in about to be taken here by the Defence Force player Jelani Peters, scorer of the first goal for Defence Force. So Club Sando will have some more defending to do here. And, do they have what it takes to come back in this game for a second time? They're down 1-0 to an early goal by Jelani Peters, equalized in the second half, but almost immediately they handed back the initiative. Penalty for Defence Force, which was dispatched by the man who won it, Foston. And again trying to score, this time from free play, Foston, but wide off the mark. Defence Force will have a date with the police next week at St. James Barracks. St. James Barracks, the home of the police team. That's going to be an interesting encounter. This one's hit straight at the keeper by Thomas. Trevin Thomas gets the shot off, and that is well saved by Ragu again. He's played his part in keeping his team alive, but Trevin Thomas got past Asher, and the keeper, that was certainly heading in at the far post. So another chance here for Defence Force to get a third goal. And we have seen them miss chances in their other games. Fairly profligate in terms of their goal scoring. Here's Johnson. Johnson gets the cross in. It wasn't fine Noel here. Club Sando sorted out by Dial. And that is downfield. There's another sight there of Prudence Fleming, who's on the far side of the right side of us. All female outfit at this time with the refereeing quartet, all females. And certainly there was a proud moment for females in Trinidad and Tobago in the sports arena earlier today. On Saturday morning, Diane Henderson was voted in. Well, that's not a proud moment for the career of that player. But Diane Henderson was voted in as the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee president, first woman to hold the post, and the 11th president overall in TTOC history. Congratulations to Diane, former runner herself, and outstanding sports administrator. Club Sando now This is played towards the far post. It's headed back in by Dial. It's a great chance. Snatched at it. And the second chance coming. And it's deflected away. Club Sando are getting opportunities to score here. And the first one was knocked back in well by Dial. And the man in the middle, Daniel Richards, just could not find his feet. And the chance was gone. The second shot was deflected. Liam Dial is going to help out his fellow player. He's offering as for the short corner here. But Club Sando will hit this one in long. It's Acelino Medford at the back post. They haven't hit the last few from this side very well. This one's hit well towards the middle. It's headed and off the post. Club Sando close to the equalizer in minute 84. What a header that was. Here's the chance once again.
From this side,
there's the corner coming in. And the man rising well at the far post. Got the header off. He was almost celebrating Josiah Cooper. But that clattered against the post. And the chance was gone there for Club Sando. That is as close as they have come to equalizing here against Defence Force. Trevin Thomas off to the races here for Defence Force. Can he get the cross in? Oh, when he finally gets the cross in, it's a very weak effort. And Larry Noel would have been in there for an easy tap in. Late in the game here, players are tiring, space is opening up. Club Sando close on one side, Defence Force on the other. That's a very good tackle by Bailey to rob the Defence Force forward of that. Here's Waldrop driving his troops forward here for Club Sando. Last 5 minutes of the game coming up. That's not a great pass by Waldrop. Club Sando, well, that's going to be a free kick for them. And Larry Noel getting tangled up there. In fact, that's not Noel. That is the new man who's come on, Tyreek Trevin Thomas, who's gotten the yellow card. Comes on in the second half. Has had a shot at goal, which was well saved by Raghu, and now has gotten the yellow card. Jerry Morris and Josiah Cooper, the other players in the referee's notebook already. Charlie's Hood has had a good game. I don't think there have been any calls that would have been too contentious. Perhaps the penalty call, in which he gave that penalty to Jaheim Foston, would have been the one that Club Sando will complain about. That's headed away by Defence Force. And the second clearance is not quite as impressive there by Aaron Johnson, who plays on the right side, right wing for Defence Force. So forward in a defender's position. That's Dial. His ball was hit straight to his teammate, but his skipper Waldrop just allowed that to get past him. There's the players from the second game just getting ready. W Connection and Police. Connection in a very familiar green outfit, warming away to our left, and on the right side out of your picture, the Police team warming up. Police looking for their third win in a row in this competition. Substitution for Club Sando. And they've also brought in a substitute. Nathaniel Garo is on for Club Sando. Still light traffic here on a Saturday evening in the central part of Trinidad. The traffic has been a little bit more congested on the Defence Force side involved in this game, in the last few minutes at least. Well, that one spun back viciously. I thought I was going to go out of play. DL just allows the man to, Jelani Peters, to slide in and knock that one out of play. Club Sando have the throw-in. Waldrop is perhaps not aware that his captain's armband is hanging off his arm at the moment. Waldrop, one of those players who will be heading to the training in the under-20 team, and they will have to appoint a new captain because he will be involved in training. I'm not sure if the players will be allowed to come through to play in the Tiger Tanks tournament, so there a few of these teams might be missing a few players. Attempted pass there by Lamsey, which was cut out. And the referee decides to restart play with a giving the ball back here to defense force. Richards was going to put in a tackle, but he was told to get back unceremoniously there by Hood. And this one's played in towards Noel, and the keeper comes through it well. It well shepherded back to his goalkeeper. Defense force looking for a third goal. Knocked forward by Daniel, who's been outstanding in the midfield with his skill and balance and poise. And here is the cross. For a moment he had the opportunity to cross, went back on the right foot. Now it's inside the area here for defense force, and off the green here at the Atterbolden Stadium. That one really spun away, made it very difficult for Trevin Thomas to bring it under control. He has control once again, does get the cross in, far post this time, and headed away. Corner for defense force. Bailey coming in at the back post to concede the corner. Well, the ball really spinning viciously on the grassy surface here at Club Sando. Wonder if it's going to spin as much at the National Cricket Centre for that T20 next week. Defence Force taking their time here. Last 30 seconds of the game. Last 30 seconds of normal time. And Defence Force, Israel Joseph taking his time to take this corner. Might get away as he just touches it and leaves it for someone else. That could have been construed as the ball being played, but the ball never left the semicircle, or the quarter circle if you want to be exact, and that's why it was not adjudged to have been played. Club Sando are miles away here from a second goal, which would give them a share of the points here. Here's Dial. Not a great pass by Dial. Time has elapsed here. We're into time added on for stoppages. Defense force, Aaron Johnson moving forward. And now it's with Thomas. And Trevin Thomas was wrong-footed by the pass. And even he couldn't catch up with it. 4 minutes of time added on for stoppages. And there is the red building you would have just seen on your right. That's the National Cricket Centre. Didn't control that well. Defense force, Stephen Williams just telling his players to keep calm. Just keep on do what they do. They're ahead 2-1. 1 minute of time added on for stoppages already gone. Noel, who has been left scoreless for the first time in this competition, still out there. He's been substituted twice, I believe, in the competition, building up on his fitness as the tournament progresses. This is match day 3, match day 4 next week, and more exciting matches coming up in the Tiger Tanks men's under-20 tournament. Defense Force will take on Police at St. James next Saturday at 4 p.m. As for the team engaged here, that's Club Sando, they will take on Trendsetter Hawks at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Second game at 4:15 p.m. Defense Force taking their time. Almost 2 minutes of time added on have now elapsed here. So this victory for Defense Force, if the scoreline stays as it is, will give them their third in a row. And now Defense Force decide to make another substitution. Jaheim Granderson coming on late in this game. 2 minutes to go, and just an opportunity for Defense Force to hold up some more time. Taken off is Larry Noel. Noel is off for this one. Jaheim Granderson is on. Noel opting to head off on the far side of the field. Number 16 for Defense Force. In fact, it's not Noel who's gone off. I saw 16 there. It's actually Tao Lamsey who's decided he has had enough. He's gone off the field. So we're heading out towards the last minute of normal time here. Last minute of time added on for stoppages. Defence Force leading 2-1. A penalty by Foston, giving them the lead. Not well controlled by Thomas, but he gets it back, but it is from a foul. So Club Sando have the free kick here. This is definitely going to be their last chance of the game. Defence Force send their players scurrying back. That is not a great free kick. And instead of pumping it forward, it is just hit straight out of play. Was that the last chance gone there for Club Sando? Defence Force will just run down the clock here, right in front of the Club Sando bench, who look on disconsolately. Percy Samlal Singh, the manager, Adil John, who is the trainer of the team. They will know that their side will stay on 1 point here, and they were previously in 5th place. They will slip further down the table here. Long throw downfield. That's going to be another throw in for Defence Force. The 4 minutes have come and gone here, and Club Sando have not been able to get a shot on goal in the remaining 4 minutes. So it's all up to the official now. Charlize Hood looks at her watch. She has the whistle close by. There's the look at the watch again. Defence Force taking their time with the throw in. Here's Jelani Peters. Headed back into the center. A chance here for Defence Force. And that is straight at the keeper. And that possibly could be the last chance of the game. Christian Bailey had the opportunity to put Defence Force in front 3-1. The whistle has gone here, but it's not going to be the end of the game. It's another free kick, this time for Defence Force. Just waiting for Charlize Hood to administer the last rites here for Defence Force as they look for a third goal. First time they would have gotten that. That's a great pass there by Noel. And the defenders done well to usher that one out of play, Omari Asher. He's been involved in 1 or 2 moments of the game, the flashpoints in the game. And there it is. That's going to be the end of it. The referee has blown it off, and Charlize Hood has brought it to an end here. Defence Force, for the 3rd time in this competition, have won this match 3-1. Here's the first goal in the early part of the game. Actually, this is an early chance that went straight at the keeper. Terence Raghu, Tishon Raghu was injured in the process. Club Sando called on the stretcher, but then right after that, here's Jelani Peters rising well. Did not get off the ground, and Peters headed it in, and there was the opening goal for Defence Force, 1-0 ahead at that point.
Into the center and headed in here by Jelani Peters.
Sure, Boxer Potts will be proud of that.
The defender coming up and heads it in. And there is the open
so Jelani Peters putting Defence Force 1-0 ahead. It would be Club Sando that would respond. The pass here by Pascal, carried by the goalkeeper, just dropped it, and it was stabbed in by their number 5. Club Sando equalizing through Cooper. And Cooper putting his team level here, 1-1. Then it was Defence Force on the attack here. And look at the run here from Foston. Took it well. And the kick to the thigh area. It was conceded by Jaquan Bailey. And the penalty resulting. And Foston, who was taunted by the goalkeeper, hit it straight at him and into the back of the net. Foston scoring. And had a few words for the defender at the same time. Foston had another chance later on. This time, Raghu saved well. More chances for Defence Force. This was the substitute. Trevin Thomas shooting straight at the keeper. And then Club Sando's best chance coming late here. This one headed, looked like it was going in off the head of Josiah Cooper, but it did not find the net. Cooper almost got his 2nd goal of the evening, but it was not to be. That was the best chance for Club Sando. Defence Force have won it 2-1. Thanks so much for joining us for this presentation of the Tiger Tanks men's under 20 tournament. I'm Vidya Ramphal. Thanks for joining us.